Morning, everybody. It's the 8th of February. I'm Joe Neighbour from Signal Centre, joined by Steve O'Hare. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, mate.
How are you today?
I'm very well, thanks. How be you?
Yes, not too bad at all, thank you. Let's get stuck in, shall we? So, not much on the news front actually today, Steve. Just scanning through various articles. It doesn't seem to be much that's interesting the markets at the minute. We did have the ECB President Christine Lagarde yesterday on the wires, and she stated that inflation would remain high in the short term, but still considered that price pressures would subside before higher inflation becomes entrenched, especially with no evidence of excess demand. Let's hope she's right. On the front of Russia and Ukraine, we've got the US President Joe Biden said that the controversial Nord Stream 2 natural gas pipeline between Russia and Germany would be stopped if President Vladimir Putin orders an invasion of Ukraine. We also had the French President Emmanuel Macron held 6 hours of talks yesterday with his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin. So that dragged on late into the night, but yielded no breakthrough of any kind, according to the reports. In terms of the corporate space, Amazon is more than doubling the maximum base salary it pays employees to $350,000 from $160,000. That's not bad, is it?
That's not bad.
The media reports indicate the turnover rate inside Amazon has reached crisis level, so they are struggling to retain workers of late. Is that a situation
Interesting.
being seen everywhere else? I
I
don't know.
think it. I think it is, Joe. I think there seems to be a big thing in the around the city. There's a lot of. I suppose the pandemic has been a major sort of like shift. Flexible working is key now. People want to don't want to have to go up to commute to London, and there's a lack of
Talking your own book
maybe
again.
skill. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sod that for a laugh. But I think there's a lack of skill. Talking my own book again, and it's sort of like people are, there's lots of these smaller sort of startup companies who are stealing staff from these big firms. There's loads of reasons. There's loads of things going on, and it's really funny how Bailey wants us to not ask for a 10% pay rise when they're getting 100% pay rises or whatever at Amazon.
Yeah.
I don't know. Weird world. It's a weird world we live in, mate.
Indeed, it is. So that's pretty much it. Markets were a bit directionless yesterday, in all honesty. Not much going on the corporate front in terms of earnings either. Has that been reflected in the chart, Steve? What are you seeing at the moment?
There's a little bit of a distraction for me is the crypto corner. We've got this is why is that? That's the hourly chart. Yeah, might as well start with the hourly chart. This is reaction 78% fib. Where are we taking that from? From the start of the break, really. It's probably not a fair place to take it from. I would say from the turnaround up here. Let's look at that instead and see what sort of retracement this is equated to. 38.2%. There you go. Still a fib. But obviously, if we look back, we can see that there was previous support around this level, and we spoke about it yesterday. This is the real resistance level that I've got my eye on for the crypto. So it was no surprise getting through that 40,000 level, acceleration upwards, and but it seems to have posted a shooting star and quite an aggressive reversal candle on there. So it's running out of steam a little bit. But the main reason was this weekly chart. We had the neckline from the head and shoulders formation, and this we already highlighted 45,478. Yeah, it's about 20 points. We've got about 20 ticks higher than that. So yeah, really pleased with that, the way that resistance held. It feels like the technicals really worked on that occasion. Ethereum, no, don't really sort of like, there's nothing really massively going on there. We could probably redraw this sort of downward trending resistance line here for Ripple, Cardano. It got back up to the 120, 125 level, which is the reverse trend line now of this upward trending support line, which we broke down and we're retesting. So it feels like a bit of a retest on cryptos. Whether this continues or not, I don't know. You know what the crypto world is like. It's a bit of a scary product to be hanging your hat on. For crude oil, that was obviously mentioned, and yeah, I saw the Putin Macron talks yesterday. Did you see the size of the table they had? It was like the size of a football pitch.
Oh, really? So I didn't want to
Yeah,
set social distancing.
well, it was either that, but the news commentator made a valid comment. It almost showed the divide between the East and the West at the moment. So
Yeah.
the table was absolutely the size of the room, which was probably, I don't know, looked like a 10-meter wide room. So it was a huge, huge table, and it made Macron look quite small at the end there. Yeah, so I don't know whether there's a bit of psychological warfare going on as well. But Putin seems to be standing his ground on it. And maybe he has every right to do so. It depends which side of the fence you're on. So oil has stalled a little bit. That will, obviously any sort of like volatility there will continue and impact on the upside to oil. But at the moment, we've had a small reversal over the last couple of days. We're just on the hourly chart. We're just breaking down. We've taken out the 9 o'clock low from yesterday. And just trading below there now, a little bit support here, but really the support we mentioned yesterday, $88.18 on here, and maybe coming in around about the $90 level, just above there on the Brent crude oil. Natural gas had a poor week last week. We can see the reaction shooting star. Hasn't quite filled the gap from a weekly perspective, but that could be ignored, and we could sort of like see this continuation lower. But that sort of feels, if you're looking at this from a tension perspective, it feels like tension has subsided a little bit. On the gold side of things, this has continued to grind higher, although it is on shaky footing. I think we've got this corrective channel. Maybe could do with a redraw on this, something like that. A little bit further on the upside, we're above the Ichimoku cloud, but the momentum is stalling as it posts these highs. Been up to 1824 and just turned around from there. Support really coming in on this down at 1780. So that just feels like more sideways action for gold as well. So maybe the indices a little bit more interesting. Definitely felt like a bit of a continuation higher setup after yesterday's price action, Monday's price action. On the gun to head, I was looking to sell into the strength, and don't know how it did. I don't think I did very well. Personally, I cut out of that position as well, and then analysed it a little bit further with the new sentiment, and felt like there may be a bit of potential on the upside now. So really depends on how things play out. On the daily chart, we've got this this stalling in the sell-off and positive price action today. Plenty of room on the upside. 15,600 would be the next level of support, resistance really. That's 300 odd points away for the DAX. On the Dow, similar sort of price action. The momentum has stalled on the downside and turned around. A nice like inside harami here. Nasdaq posted a negative day, so that's 4 negative days on the spin. So maybe that's the one kicking back on this uptick we're seeing on the indices and the cryptocurrencies. And S&Ps also posted a slightly negative day yesterday, more of an inside doji stalling type of candle. So really looking for a little bit of volatility. Yeah, okay, it feels a bit like a flip of a coin, but I felt like the DAX had potential for further upside. Looking at the hourly chart, the short-term chart felt like a little bit of a double bottom here. So measured move target of that could be, let's just quickly find where that is. Measured move target for that is 15,435. So 150 points to the upside. But yeah, a very strong opening hour from the 8 o'clock open, pushed it higher. But yeah, I think it's just a short-term correction higher. That's about it, Joe.
Lovely, thank you, Steve. Okay, let's talk FX. So, what's going on? Not much new to report really. Dollar index still trading in the bullish channel. We've seen a decent bounce from the lower end. We are posting gains today up by 0.22% as things stand. Yesterday was a day of indecision really, didn't do an awful lot, and that was kind of mirrored across the board in a variety of assets really. If we take a look at Euro US dollar, that is on the back foot today, down by 0.32%. The euro, all in all, as you can see on the watch list here, is getting a bit of a pounding on the downside, down by 0.3% on Euro US dollar into this kind of downtrend. Failed at this previous resistance here at 114.82. I did that as my gun to the head trade yesterday. I didn't actually manage to make anything on it. I think I was down by 0.2% or something on that one. So, or 0.2R, sorry. But still looks likely for me to head lower, I think. If we take a look at Euro Sterling, that stalled yesterday. It's posted a pretty clean looking doji really, pretty much open closed at exactly the same level, and we're getting losses today down by 0.35% overall, still trading in a downtrend, so looking for any gains to be sold into, and that looks to be the case today. Euro yen, that's still trying to hold on to this support at 131.60, although it's below it right now. Not really an encouraging looking candle following the sort of break higher that we saw on the 7th. Let's take a look at cable, see what that's doing. Bit of a hanging man candle yesterday, but all in all, quite indecisive really. Still looking as though it's being dictated by the outcome of the dollar, which overall still looks pretty strong, and therefore I think we can expect to see maybe lower prices on that for now. Let's take a quick look at Aussie. That bounced back quite nicely yesterday. So weirdly, we saw strength, well not strength, but sort of flat in the dollar index, but saw a decent move higher in the Aussie. We've actually got consumer confidence from Australia tonight to keep an eye out for, so that may have a say on things, but overall still looks pretty bearish, and I'd be looking to sell into strength on that. Aussie versus yen looks quite interesting, maybe broken out of a consolidation channel here and has the potential to push a little bit higher in the short term. Overall, looks like it's quite range bound anyway, but potentially some trading opportunities have emerged as a result of this breakout of this channel. That's pretty much all I wanted to highlight, I think, today. So I'll leave it there.
Nice one.
Okay, gun to the head trades from yesterday. Not particularly great. So 0.2R down on Euro US dollar. And Steve, you were stopped out not by a lot, really. I think it was only a handful of ticks that caught you on the DAX, which was,
Yeah, it was
that's always
actually.
frustrating.
Yeah, yeah, it just got above that 55 level or something, I think, with a stop.
59 maybe was the high, I think.
Yeah, it was yeah, a bit frustrating actually. Just yeah, just clipped out, it felt, and then it was sort of way back down again. But back up, and that's them sort of levels above those levels today. So yeah, right thing to do. Stop it out.
Lovely. Okay, so on the back of that, you got anything you fancy this morning?
Mm, well, I'll tell you what, I might actually. No, I can't go against the crypto. It doesn't feel like I can go and get against the indices either. Nasdaq's the only one really that's on the radar, which I'd like to sell, but think of something else, Stevie boy. I'll tell you what. What about fading this sell-off in the oil? It still feels like we've got plenty of upside on here. Just looks like it's hit the 38.2% fib retracement. Feels like that could be enough. Can put a pretty tight stop on this. 89.58 we're getting in at. Yeah, let's go for a bigger win than that. Let's go for 4-to-1 risk reward, see it all the way back up to the highs. So yeah, buying WTI crude oil here at 89.58, stop at 89.08, target 91.58. 4-to-1.
Cool. I'm going to sell Bitcoin.
Oh,
Blasphemy. Don't Don't
That's why
abuse
we've
me
got.
for it.
That's why we've got no followers, Joe.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. So just purely looking at this, it's the hourly chart. So
Yeah,
it's had
nice
a really
turnaround.
strong run higher. We've hit into some resistance, arguably these sort of levels here. Just let a little look above it. But primarily my interest is this turnaround here. So this big doji-like candle that's formed. Then we've seen a decent close below the 10-period moving average on the hourly. So I'm going to sell that now at 44,110. Stop loss above that high at 45,566. Let's go for a humdinger all the way down to these lows, down at 36,286, looking for 5.4R on selling Bitcoin today.
Nice one.
Okay, cool. Data-wise today, 130 US trade balance. I wouldn't consider it a high impact one, but the deficit is expected to rise to $82 billion. And then at 11:30 p.m. UK time, we've got the Australia Westpac consumer confidence figure, previous reading 102.2. So if you're trading anything Aussie, then be careful because there could be some overnight volatility that maybe you hadn't accounted for. Not much else to add, Steve, unless you've got anything, any words of wisdom or anything else or something.
No, nothing, mate. Got nothing. Got nothing. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's all right. It's one of those days, it feels like.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's wrap it up there then. Have a good day, everybody, and we'll be back tomorrow.
Cheers.